Good evening, everybody, and my name is Danny Wells, a Regional Vice President with R1 International, and tonight we've got an amazing Executive District Manager, Toni Langham, that's going to do a very short but very informative training for us all tonight on the follow-up. So I'm going to hand it over to the amazing Toni Langham and let her take it away.
Woo! Woo, 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 woo. Thank you, Danny. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a little bit about mastering the follow-up. So when we can master the follow-up, this ensures that we never run out of people to talk to, because we can always go on referrals, workshops, and things like that. So it is definitely a good idea to master the follow-up. So a follow-up is time sensitive and stick with it. So it's a 2 to 3 day loan of the products. And we need to be strategic in the way we go about our follow-up, and that's equally as important. So if somebody's asking if they can keep the products a bit longer, a day or 2 days, the answer should always be no. This keeps it serious and on a professional level. Always go into your follow-up knowing the goal of the follow-up. So the main goal is to get a decision. We want a yes or a no on the products, the business, referrals, workshop booking, a future follow-up if the time right now isn't right for them. And have the confidence in this structure. This sets the bar and ensure you can include audios too, and info they can relate to, so INR bonds and things like that. Go into your follow-up with a positive mindset, positive attitude and positive mentality, and know that the follow-up will be successful. So the follow-up really starts at the first presentation. So when we loan out the products, we must ask enough questions to find out what this person needs and wants from our products and or business, so that we can tailor it to their needs anyway. So when meeting on your follow-up, keep general chit-chat to a minimum. We need to bear in mind that if somebody is interested in the business, they are looking at this follow-up as something that they may have to do in the future. So keep general chit-chat to a minimum. Exactly. So yeah, so stick to a specific time frame. Always be positive and ask, what did you like best about the products? What was your favourite part of the audio? Which one did you love? Never ask open questions. It leaves us open to objections. And just to reiterate, Ian Pritchard does say that we are the ones who create objections. So deliver the follow-up confidently. We shouldn't hit objections this way. However, if we do hit objections, be prepared, SWOT upon handling objections and practice these. The best way to handle objections, though, is the feel, felt, found. So relate to that person. I know how you feel. I felt that way. This is what I found. And ask them what makes them think that they have that certain objection. So if they don't have the time or the money, or they don't know enough people, ask them what makes them think that. And if you can show them how to overcome that, or show them the skills to find more people to talk to, or find more time, or fit in R1 into their daily lives already, would they be open-minded to know more? Let them know that there are so many other products. If one product that they have tried isn't quite right, let them know that we have something within our brand that will be a perfect fit. This goes back to when we first present the product. So we'll be tailoring to them anyway, and letting them know that in the first place, that if this is something that doesn't fit them right now, this product, then we will find something that will suit them. If they have an objection, such as they come back and they've said it's brought me out in spots or tingles or pink, red, show them and tell them this is a really good thing. It shows that your skin is detoxifying, ridding of toxins, your pH is balancing out. Show them that this is a good thing. Again, remember to let them know there are plenty of other products that we can go through before we get to something that will fit them. Make sure they know this is a service they'd not receive elsewhere. So if they did go to a shop like Boots, yes, they've got a concession, they can have a little chat about what might suit them properly, but they couldn't then go back 2 to 3 days later and say, actually, this didn't suit me. Do you have something else? Answer is likely to be no. You'd have to then go and buy another full product. Sorry, bear with me.
This is really good. I'm making loads and loads of notes. It's brilliant.
Oh, thank you. I've literally been rocking Thea as I'm writing notes the whole afternoon. Bless her. So then you would go into, on a scale of 1 to 10, where does this fit you right now? And you can ask them, I may have missed something here. No. So we go into the Eric Worre part, where he says about how many hours per week could you commit, how long would you be willing to commit X amount of hours, and how much do you want to earn a month? How much do you want to earn a month? How many hours per week could you commit to get there? And how long do you want to be doing those hours per week to earn X per month? So then we go into if we can show you how to get there, doing these amount of hours to take this long to earn X amount, would you be willing to let me show you, to let me teach you? If they're being unrealistic, obviously we know to tell them that, be honest, that isn't realistic. This would be a more realistic approach. And ask them, where do you see yourself? So number 1 would be products. Number 2 would be products and more info on the business. And number 3 would be they are ready to start now. So if they're at 1 to 2, so that's products and business, we go ahead and ask them what products you currently use. We'd get them started on something that they can instantly switch. So we'd like to show them the different ways that they can have discount, and we'd show them the SRP, and bear in mind that is still great value. We'd show them the 20% PC price, and then we'd offer them a 40% price, which I think Sarah May Stubbins does that, and that is the ASVP's for PC level. And she says to laminate these options and all the ASVP options, so that you have them ready at your follow-up and they can literally choose right there, right then. Also, ask for referrals. You can ask for 3 people they might know who would be interested in products, and they could probably name at least 3 people, and obviously ask if it's okay for you to contact them. Again, with workshops, and again, probably with business as well, they are likely to know at least 2 or 3 people that you can go ahead and referral for business. If they're at number 2, so that is more about the business, then you want to go ahead and get them onto their next exposure. So that is a Discover Arbonne, a different Arbonne opportunity, a 3-way call, whichever comes sooner. So we don't want to leave the time frame too small, because the excitement will die down, as we know. Yeah, so you still want to go ahead and get them using some products. Even if they want to think about the business, we still want to get them straight away started on some products, because if they start on the products, likelihood is they're going to get hooked, which we'll do. And also see if they're willing for us for another exposure. So if they want to book a free workshop as well, and you can explain that if they booked a workshop, that the likelihood is a few of their friends and family are going to be interested in the products and or business, and it will just show them how they can open up those different networks. And obviously we explain the benefits of offering a workshop, so they would personally get hostess discounts and hostess rewards. Let's skip that. So that's about referrals. And then you can there and then be prepared. So if they're at number 3, somehow missed that off. if they're on number 3, so they're ready to get started now, be prepared. So make sure you've arranged your follow-up for somewhere with Wi-Fi, so you can register. You've got your iPad. Recommend the sort of products that you'd ideally say they need to start their business with if they're doing their first business order. Bear in mind the 7-day call-off period. So if they did want to do a big order to start their business, bear in mind that. I think it's £200, but that includes your join up, your postage, and the products. So bear that in mind too. And again, if they are ready to get started right now, you instantly schedule their first and second training on either Zoom or face-to-face, and their 2 to 4 launches. And make sure you have your new consultant starter pack ready to give them right there and get straight to work. And get them to work on their 100 people list as well. And I think it was Ian Pritchard. He said that make sure you offer, can I help you do an order? So if they're looking at just products, PC, business, make sure you ask them or offer to help them do an order there and then. And he also says, don't lose sight of the PCs looking only for business builders. And he also says, and I thought this was quite right actually, if people just aren't getting it, that's okay. They will either be a follow-up for the future, or they might be a workshop, or they might just not get it at all. That is okay. We're not here to convince everybody. We're not going to be able to let everybody know how good it is. It's okay if they just don't get it. So just to bear that in mind too. And that's pretty much it.
That was really informative. That was really, really good. Absolutely loved it, Toni. And I love hearing you talk about stuff. We don't hear you train enough.
That's because I'm normally followed around by a baby at the minute.
Okay, let's hear from some people about the follow-ups then. So we've got Cowie area, Dan and Jen. Do you want to share any of your follow-ups, good or bad, things to not do, things to do, anything you want to add to that from your experience?
No, I think it was covered, really, really well. And also the big thing about it was as well though is, like follow up, fairly quick and keep the momentum going after you've done that hard work, isn't it? To keep them interested, because you've done all that hard work to explain everything and to give them all the information, and that might fizzle out. So I think that's good as well though.
I agree with that point. Yeah, that's a really good point to make. Yeah. Keep the follow-up within a few days. Don't follow up like in 3 weeks' time, because they've probably forgotten all that you told them. But yeah, the training was excellent. So,
but on another note as well for me, because I'm a bit of a chatterbox, I like the way that she said keep it all sort of like quick and easy and simple. Quit the idle chit chat. Get to business straight away.
That's it. And don't feel like you have to fill the silences. Don't keep talking, stop. And sometimes it's really hard, but you have to just stop talking and count in your head and listen to what they're saying.
I can imagine Danny Cowie with like his hands like digging into his legs or something, like, don't say anything.
Yeah, bless him.
Yeah, I know. No, but it was really, really good, Toni. I could see, obviously, when you started, you was a little bit nervous, but then you kind of got into it, you knew where you were, which was really good. I could see towards the end you were doing really, really well.
Yeah. I really liked the bit where you said about moving from exposure to exposure, and I can relate to this because I met a guy, completely cold market, knocked on my door selling me charity money. I think I briefly mentioned this to you the other day, Toni. Yeah. And I booked a one-to-one with him, and we met up for a coffee, and he got the business completely, and I lent him some products, some audios and some books, and then we booked a follow-up a couple of days later. And I didn't go to meet him with the intention to sign him up. I went with the intention to see where he was at and when I could book the next exposure and what that would be, whether that would be product or business route. So I met him again, and it was business route, and I booked the next exposure, which was him coming to region training, which unfortunately he actually went to the completely wrong thing. He went to a Discover Arbonne in Kegworth, but it's still Arbonne related. And then we booked another appointment, and he came here. And then we booked another one. So he is starting his business. And Ian said, why does he not just sign up? And I said, because it's not about people signing up. It's about moving from exposure to exposure. So I really like that. And I can completely relate to that, because I always think in my head, what are we booking next? Like, what's the next event that they would like? Like, is it a meet the products? Is it a business thing? You know, let's gauge it rather than thinking, right, come on then, let's get the laptop out, let's sign up. So I really like that, Toni. Kelly, did you want to add anything from your from your follow-ups?
All right. No, I just totally agree with Toni. That was really great training, Toni. Thank you very much. It's really good. It is. They say the fortune is in the follow-up, don't they? It really is. But it's right, and you can sense, can't you, if someone's not totally totally ready for that sign up there and then. It's just all about the exposure. It's just all about introducing them more, because I think if you think back to when you first joined yourself, it's like, oh my God, do I do this? What am I going to do? It's, you know, it's a huge thing. Is it a huge thing I'm taking on? And we kind of explain it as, well, no, it's not. It's really simple. You're just switching your products. You're just switching your spends. But then it becomes a little bit more than that. And I think when people see like how busy we are and how stuff that we do, I think people do think a bit like, oh my God, it's a business. I'm setting up a business and it's going to be really, really hard work. But I just think it's important that we just introduce them slowly and see where they're at, basically. Because if they're going to be kind of like a sitter and they just don't want to do much straight away, then you have to respect that decision for them, really. But if they want to fly with it, then you've got to go with it. So I think that's really important to take in on their take on it, basically. That's what we're here for, though, isn't it? To guide them. We're here to teach.
I like the bit as well where Toni said that if you go to a shop in town, you don't get the service that we provide. I thought that was really key, because that's like a unique selling point to what we have on offer.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Fiona, I know you've just come on, so you missed Toni, but she was talking about the follow-up. Really, really great advice. Is there anything that you want to add about any experience you've had with any follow-ups, good or bad?
Follow-ups. I find the longer you leave it, the harder it is. So I think definitely getting quick. I followed up with people maybe like a week, 10 days later, and by that point it's kind of been and gone. The information's left the head. It's not as important to them. You know, when you first tell them about what our products contain and the ingredients that they don't contain, and they find it really important at the time, but 10 days later they've just kind of got back into the swing of their daily life and that information's disappeared, so it's not important to them anymore, so they don't care. But 3 days later, that's still at the forefront of their mind. So if you do a follow-up with them then, I find that that's more beneficial.
Brilliant. Okay, Toni, did you want to add anything?
No, I think that was it, really. Just to reiterate what Fiona said, when I was listening to the recording from Ian Pritchard, that is basically what he said. The longer you leave it, it's not, like Fiona said, it's not important to them anymore. The excitement is gone. They've gone back into their normal life, and Arbonne's disappeared into the distance. It just doesn't matter anymore. So yeah, very important to keep it to a few days.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thank you so much for that, Toni. I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you so much.